I get so baffled by Eagle Boys because in theory they're all so good, but this is the exactly what I was talking about when I said they were unstable and a little bit like easy to tilt. Because it just I don't know. I think their draft looked okay in theory, but it doesn't click. What's happening?
I don't know. It wasn't as good as it looked on paper. I think it's just overestimating some aspects of it. I think Cat got us again. His drafts are good.
The fast drafting strategy worked
I
out.
really feel like if Beast Coast was playing this against Thunder Predator, like Beast Coast would win. You know, I don't know. We'll have to
not
see.
Against that not if that Tiny plays like that.
Well, boys, we got a draft.
Oh,
let's jump in and speak of the devil. Draft time. Quick bans again, and it is going to be a first pick Tiny on the side of the Ego Boys. Centaur, the response now for GP.
Dire team pick.
I love this blitz drafting. This is amazing. Just go, 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 go.
All right. So what do you pick here? Do you go Lion because there's Sham on the other side? And
I think they'll pick Snap and just ban Puck.
Okay.
That would be my prediction.
Can't they just Puck and have that versus Centaur?
Remaining.
They can, but then you're picking into the Hex as well, and then it takes away the flex of the Tiny.
Yeah.
Dire team ban.
Oh.
Well, why Life Stealer? I mean, it's a Centaur, percent based.
Yeah.
Rage.
It's not even that good in lane versus Centaur, honestly, but it does become good once Life Stealer has a couple of items. Because you actually you damage yourself more than you heal with Feast, but it's better than not healing at all. So I guess that's why you go for it.
This kind of reminds me of like the EG strat, as it were, the Abed strat of just like picking him the Storm Spirit early. And then that just means that it puts a lot of pressure. Like usually that puts a lot of pressure on their one, obviously, because you know what kind of a game Abed's going to have for the most part. It's going to be like mid tier. And now Ego Boys are essentially switching that to a lone, which then makes me start thinking, okay, what are the heroes that I would want for a lone to win me the game? And I think Templar Assassin, I think Huskar, and I think like maybe some Spirit, but maybe like an Ember Spirit, someone who's a little bit better at like the solo carrying.
I really like the TA that you mentioned. I feel like with Gorillaz-Pride being a team that picks AA, the Huskar is going to be a long shot, but TAE looks like a really good hero that synergizes well with Lifestealer too. I hope they might be able to play it.
Dire team back. Radiant team back.
Wow, that's so fast.
Oracle now. Yeah, they're cruising through this. Early Life Stealer. This is wild. This is either a really big brain play or Ego Boys are in big trouble here. The Life Stealer,
I feel like he has the same problem
Dire
Void has,
team
Larry. Like you see European teams own with it, but in SA, it just didn't feel that powerful.
and like the Tiny, as Trent said, this might be that one of those cherry chocolates, the ones you avoid in the assortment until the very end. Ugh.
How do you say, you guys read Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, parts of it.
What's the name of those beans that have like different flavors and they're all random?
Bernie Bots?
Oh yeah, Birdie Bots. Yeah,
I think so.
That's Tiny.
Yes, yeah, that'll do. We'll go with that.
All right, so they take the timber saw. Every flavor beans, yeah, that's how I remember it.
Do you have any
those
Boeing?
in real life?
Do you need some beans?
Radiant team pick.
I've had them. They're disgusting.
Some of them are really gross.
Like the snot ones, they're really nasty. And well, shockingly, they go back for the AA. And by shockingly, I mean not shocking at all when they have this Life Stealer and you're expecting a big individual carry.
Another snap pick
guys.
on both sides. And
I love this draft. This is so good.
Dude, GP are doing the exact same thing. It was like, all right, guys, 5 stuns. Load them up. Put them in the long 9s. They won't be able to move.
Hey, look, guys, they banned PL, but we just wanted Chaos Knight anyways an illusion hero because we have AA.
All right, I mean, that Pango ban is so good because it's actually a great wave clear. I think you tied, but still against AA. I don't know.
All right, now just don't give them like a Wind Ranger or some. I mean, they can pick anything. They can pick a Wind Ranger or a Spirit Hero over Gorillaz Pride last, and their draft is just sick.
Kunkka with
totally
Hood.
Fine. Oh, you mean for Ego Boys?
Yes.
Oh,
or this guy, yeah.
I mean, this is all right. This is like a cool option versus CK, and in theory, good against the Centaur.
like this actually. I think this is the lane might be problematic depending on the hero that actually
10
goes with
seconds
the Underlord.
remaining.
I hope it's not this tiny because I think they just have
5
way too much
seconds
lockdown on
remaining.
the side of GP. But
You know a hero that's not good at playing from behind, Bowie?
Underlord.
It's Underlord.
Yep.
So, yeah, you're going to want him to have a pretty good lane.
You know what you do? I think you actually lane this Underlord in the safe lane because Lifestealer will never die to Chaos Knight AA because you just press Q and the stun doesn't matter. So I would love if they actually sent Lifestealer and Grimstroke to the CK lane and that Underlord versus Centaur is easy peasy for Underlord.
Oh, that sounds kind of okay.
I like that actually. It's been a while. We're not seeing as many musical lanes as like in the past, but I think this might be one of those games where the Underlord just
My
gets
only
trashed.
concern might be that you need the rage early, and you're also going to be dealing with the AA just clicking at you, and I don't know if your heroes could help unless they like full aggro try.
I think Grim can trade well versus AA. And if you can go a level 2 rage, because I don't think they can kill level 1. So like you go the third spell on Lifestealer and then rage.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you just save the skill point and you see what happens. Okay, so they take the lash. That's interesting. That'll be
10 seconds remaining.
Does this mean Tiny is mid and they're gonna pick a 4?
Yeah, I think it
5
does.
seconds
I
remaining.
mean, Tiny's got some targets with the AA, the Shaman, but the Chaos Knight, the Tiny, or the Centaur are
Dire
bit
team
rough.
ban.
They need. Yeah, no, the Tiny has to be 4 because they don't have enough. What 4 could deal with enough illusions? Like a Brew 4, even that's not really that good, especially later. It has to be some mid hero with giant AOE.
But then why would you ban Lash with first pick in the next
10
phase?
seconds remaining.
Just enables their own draft, I guess, right? Like the push with the
5
Shadow
seconds
Shaman.
remaining.
No, but like, isn't Lash good versus CK and EGOBOYS could pick it because they have?
No, I hear what you're saying. I agree.
Okay.
I'm. Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying they just don't want to play it, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that could be it. All right, big brain plays. What if Underlord is mid? You actually pick a
10
different
seconds
offlaner
remaining.
that doesn't die to CK. What about that?
5 seconds
Like who?
remaining.
Like Windranger. I don't know. Like Bristleback. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm kind of out of ideas here. Sand
Viper.
King, maybe. I don't know. This is not looking good for EGOBOYS again.
Curious.
Even Gorillaz-Pride are like, the hell do we ban here?
Dire
I'm actually
team
down for
pick.
Brew 4 if I have to pick something here. I don't even know what else to do. Phoenix? No.
Yeah,
Go back for your Kunkka. It didn't get banned. Go Kunkka.
Yep, that's another.
Keep it simple. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I feel like that's the best hero I see left.
10 seconds remaining.
And it doesn't even feel that good. I guess they could Ember.
5
as well?
seconds remaining.
Yeah, the only problem is the Shaman, but I like it.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take some risk here. The Templar Assassin is still out there as a concept. but-
AACK is just. So,
I mean, yeah.
yeah. If they had last pick, maybe.
Radiant team pick.
They might just get Vipered, though. Okay, tiny mid. All right, so Terrorize. The giant AoE stun now with like the talents and the shards. That kind of stuff is pretty good versus the CK.
Yeah, the real good thing about Dark Willow is that you don't get stunned by CK because you have
10 seconds remaining.
the Shadow Realm. And it actually disjoints the CK stun. So
It's Davion's time, guys.
Remaining.
Give me the DK.
Ooh, wow, it's actually good. Gives them
Bring
push.
him in.
Okay, I'm actually down, Trent.
It's his time.
You got me.
Push
So
towers. They
hero-
banned Leshrac and Death Prophet. Notice their weakness. He's telling you what he's afraid of.
True.
Bring on the king, the knight. Okay, he's not a king. He works for the king, though. He's very close. They're good friends. He calls him by his first name. You know? Doesn't have to kneel even. Okay, he probably kneels. He's a good knight.
He's kind of a. I mean, is the Dragon Knight? I actually don't know that much about lore, but the Dragon Knight in Dota, does he already have the dragon? Like the what's the name of that dragon again?
Yes.
Slyrak.
Slyrak, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that the anime would be a prequel to
To
Dota is like our final battle against the ancient.
okay.
So everything in the anime is like prequel before the battle.
Okay.
It's his origin story, if you will. So yes, the answer is yes.
There you go.
Oh, hey, my Bat Rider. Oh, this is so good. GP all the way, man. This is such a nasty draft. A lot of initiation, a lot of team fight, a lot of stuns, solid laners again.
Who's going
I know
mid?
they have Lifestealer against the Bat. He has like good options or whatever, but it goes both ways. Lasso goes through Rage.
Dude, I went against Cat in the first game, and I am ashamed. I will go Cat all the way. I think I already got this. This is just a really good draft. I don't know. Cat's on point today. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yep. Yeah, I have more confidence in their heroes. I think this is the, yes, as you said, the bad bean, the bad chocolate. Looks a bit tough. Batrider has looked pretty crazy.
Like,
Hopefully he doesn't
Tiny
overextend.
Get destroyed by Bat? Like,
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Bat really messes up for like a toss play or something, Tiny has the occasional option. I think it's a dumpster fire otherwise, though. Like, actually dumpster fire.
I mean, there's no
AA
rotations,
versus
though.
Lifestealer, that's insanely
Bat throws him in the
good.
dumpster, and then he lights the dumpster on fire. Okay? There's no coming back from that. Tiny is fire retardant, but he ain't farming. That's for sure.
He's beautiful, deadly particles in the air. Fire.
I like the Willow pick.
Reducer. It's great.
It's nifty. I love her accent, but I don't know. It's enough to win EGOBOYS this game. I think.
Yeah.
Rises has to be massively farmed. He needs like a butterfly, a Mjolnir. I don't think he can go Radiance.
I think the Lifestealer is like my most cynical part, and it upsets me that they used one of their first two picks on this Lifestealer, who I don't think is going to end up having a good game. That's the kind of scratch in my head.
They need very, very good spell casting, and they need to bait out bad stampedes. That is the best way to win these fights, because like clearing out these illusions is going to be so difficult. It's essentially relying on all the spells, right? Yeah. So it has to be like the Grimstroke and the Underlord, and they do have the spells to do it. But I worry that the Stampede is just going to cause issues, because like CK and all his illusions are they're going to run unless you get the root off. So yeah, G-Pride looking real good.
All right, well, hand it over to the casters now. Game number 2, no pause. Gary and Theban could be the last game of the day. Do you think it'll be another slaughter here for G-Pride?
It looks like it could be, yeah. I mean, as the panel's been saying, it's looking more like, the pebble-flavored Bertie Bott's beans rather than a toffee or a chocolate-flavored one for this Tiny. Although we're going to have some struggles here. As Theban, do EGOBOYS have some answers? Because G-Pride a very similar draft to Game 1, isn't it?
Do they have answers? I'm thinking really hard, and they don't have any real soulbind combos. They do have the Inkswell Tiny. Like, if Alone can just pop off somehow against a Bat Rider,
yeah,
right? Maybe. But to be fair, I really don't think that this Tiny is gonna have a
game.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to lanes then, I guess, for EGOBOYS. Maybe we'll see that suggestion from Bowie, put the Lifestealer plus whoever, maybe the Grimstroke down in the bottom lane and put Underlord top. They could do some little lane swap arounds if they want to. But it's always just going to feel like G-Pride have the upper hand if that happens anyway. And they'll secure themselves both of the top bounty runes. No contesting, no mucking around. Yeah, it's going to be that Tau Batrider in the mid lane up against the Alone Tiny.
Yeah, this is a really hard lane to match up. This is so hard for the Tiny. I mean, he's got a magic wand first item. He's going to go straight for the boots. So he's got a lot of sustain coming from there. But at some point, if the Tiny uses Toss or Avalanche to get last hits, you might just see the Batrider diving him.
Yeah, so then, Kara, Tano probably going to have to be thinking about those TP reaction plays as quickly as possible. As they will TP that Kara support up top. Arduous with Cat down bottom, CKAA yet again, the stuns into the cold feet. Dark Willow, like the panel was saying, has ways around it with Shadow Realm, but Underlord, he may feel tanky. As he does put a lot of damage onto that CK already with a Firestorm. Oh, is that going to be first blood?
that's
It
nice.
is. They burn down the CK.
That's exactly what they needed to start this game. I mean, you got the first blood onto the Chaos Knight. He's gonna miss a few creeps. Lots of XP. What happened there, actually? How do you die level 1 as a Chaos Knight? You got like 700... He doesn't have a TP either.
Yeah, he TP'd bottom. That is devastating for them. He stood in Firestorm. He was kind of stuck between some brambles and a creep wave. He couldn't really move.
Oh my god. Well,
Oh,
there you go. There you have it, Gary. There's EGOBOYS' answer right there. You know, you got the CK off to a terrible start in this bottom lane.
It's an answer to a question nobody asked. Interestingly enough. Well, CK will return down there, but yeah, one last hit, one death. Numbers not looking good for him. Is up at top lane, rises with the rage and the Inkswell towards Greedy. They turn onto Dismar though, the supposed easier target, but Wave and Heroes now under the tier 1, safe for a bit, while Radiant Wave gonna go connect with the top dire tier 1. So a couple of CS missed by Rises.
Yeah, they got a healing salve on the Centaur, and Kara has used up majority of his mana. They've been very aggressive in this top lane, just removing all his HP.
2 hero
Rises.
stomp.
He's got to be careful.
Has
He
to.
cannot trade into this, and he doesn't even have Feast level 1 either. He went for the Ghoul Frenzy
101.
plus Rage. Yeah.
And Kara's the one that's still in danger. Dismar has the shackles. Inkswell rises. Try and get it onto both of them, but the stomp there from Greedy gets them the kill. Lifestealer does trade back for Dismar. But now Greedy is able to, stand in the lane. He's got 79 damage against Lifestealer 63, so last hitting against this big boy Centaur is not a fun time.
It really isn't, and without the Feast, okay, he's got it now, but Centaur can just keep right-clicking the Lifestealer. I do expect Rises to just max out the Feast, maybe, in this kind of lane, knowing the Centaur is going to be going for that Vanguard as well.
It feels like that's the way he's got to go. Now just a quick look into mid lane. So Alone steals the left-hand bounty rune, and it looks like, yeah, TPing to go and grab... Oh, he's thinking about grabbing the other one. Oh, another Inkswell top, though. Rises just continues running at them. Can't finish off Greedy, but he's been shackled up, and they've got a hoof stomp, yeah. Catch the Lifestealer. Ether Shock is coming to finish him off. That final zap.
Wow.
That'll do the job. And Kara trying to stick around and kill off Greedy, but yeah, he's got Fairy Fire and a salve, so not actually able to finish him off.
I'm surprised that even
bottom.
worked. Greedy...
The CK. Ooh, he's got stick charges. He's actually fine. The Cold Feet on Tano, though, puts him in a bit of a dangerous spot.
And again...
Kara's going to die up top.
Yeah, I don't know how this is working, but he's got 2 levels in Retaliate on Centaur at level 3. 0 double edge leveled up, and they're getting kills up here. This is a really strong lane, Gary. But look at both these heroes' base damage. Oh, bottom. CK.
Yeah, CK's dead bottom.
Oh, again. Just keep shoving this lane in. And you know what? If I'm Cat this game, I'm probably thinking of buying like a headdress. Just so my CK has this extra HP regen while these waves are being shoved into the tower. These guys are so aggressive.
He's constantly. He's just in the Firestorm. Every single creep wave. This Soul Ring from Drakeel, a really nice pickup to keep that mana sustain going.
He's got 8
But yeah, mid lane.
assets.
On the
Oh,
CK,
wait.
yeah, 8 and 4.
Return kill.
There we go.
That's big. He needed
Level
that so
2
badly.
CK. Hits level 3 now. They really did. I mean, yeah, it's a change up from Cat as well. Goes for the 2 points in Cold Feet. We've seen him maxing out the Chilling Touch in previous games. So knowing they need that burst damage, that aggression.
You understand that, right?
Very good with the Chaos Bot as well. Chain those 2 spells up. And yeah, the Underlord, I mean, he's going to come back bottom with 4 resources now. So that's something for him. But Argus, he really needed that kill. Now he's level 3.5. He was only level 2, by the way, when he got that kill on the Underlord.
Yeah.
So he was really struggling, but that's going to help him out. 11 last hits only. How's the mid lane looking? We haven't checked out
Yeah, please do.
this lane that much. Tiny, he's got 25 last hits. Batrider's at 20. Alone, it doesn't look like he's been punished at all for making that bounty rune take into a TP middle. And Tao now going to walk all the way back to base, heal up. Looks like he's just going to mainly focus on his farm. Top lane.
Move on to Greedy again. Yeah, he's popped the Fairy Fire and the Stomp. Oh, he doesn't come in time. Dismar tries the Shackles. Now a TP out back to his tier 1. Stays around in the lane. But yeah, it's felt like that mid lane. Oh no, bottom again, side lanes. Can you calm down for a second? Okay, Cat runs away from the Pit of Malice. chill. But I think Bat's just been spending so much mana focusing on last hits that he's never had a chance to stick onto Alone's Tiny. Like, he's always backing up when he's got 2 or 3 napalm stacks on him.
Yeah, and I think
Very
Alone
well
has
played.
played this lane very well, not to give too many openings for the Batrider. Batrider is level 6 now, though. But yeah, just gotta
Bottom
back off.
cat. Trapped inside the pit. They're trying to get the trade onto Drakeel, but Argis can't get it.
Greedy
Drakeel just
top as
salves
well.
up. And Greedy being run down, yeah. Lifestealer found his embrace from Kara. He's under his tower, though, and Dismar was arriving. Always got to be wary of those shackles.
Just gonna
Kara
back
going to
off.
try a pull here. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it feels like advantage Ego Boys. Underlord
So
has had
this-
a great laning stage.
Yeah, EGOBOYS are striking back this game really hard, especially with how aggressive they were able to play on the top lane. Like Lifestealer at this point being level 6, he can pretty much solo in the top lane, right? As long as he got some kind of a ward, watching the Shadow Shaman, the angle that he's coming from. Kara can even leave this lane and go bottom and play with the Underlord, put more pressure onto this Chaos Knight, who is trying to crawl his way back into this game. Actually, looking at Chaos Knight, it's not that bad. He's got power treads,
He's
1,200
dead?
HP. Is he? Yeah,
He is under his tower, yeah.
Only level
Full
5.
Frenzy level 3. Just lets the Lifestealer chase him down, and now
Dismar
Dismar out
too.
of position as well. The body blocks. Grimstroke can't stick on him. No more mana left on Kara. Well, yeah, bottom lane CK stunned up again. Firestorm at level 3 and the Pit of Malice. All onto the CK. He will survive, but it is really a rough, torrid time down there for him. 23 last hits. He's got his treads up, so he's a bit tankier, but going back into the hand of Midas definitely indicative of a poor start.
There is a big item on Alone, Gary. If you just saw on the minimap, he teleported
Wow.
from one part to another. Yep. That's a Blink Dagger on the Tiny. So,
8 minutes.
you know what? I'm beginning to feel like Tao really messed up this lane middle, because this shouldn't be happening. Like, a Tiny shouldn't be able to get this much farm.
And it's not as if Tao's rotated or anything. It has just been a straight 1v1. Oh, look
Yeah.
at what Alone's doing, actually. Alone drops the Blink Dagger behind his tower, so he's hiding the fact he has it. They
Yeah,
bring
smoke
Kara
out.
in to smoke them, so now he's going to make the rotation. Shut
Go
down
on,
the CK
Argus.
even more in the bottom lane. He goes out with a Chaos Bolt. CK starts on the Underlord. They're trying to bait out a few more spells there, as they'll connect with 4 heroes into the bottom lane, and maybe even turn that into a tower.
Yep,
Brambles.
super dead.
Double roots. Absolutely slaughtered. Tiny
Kara.
also wants this Ancient Apparition because Kara's got that Inkswell speeding up and catching up to Cat's AA. Tiny gonna whack down with a big old skeleton. A big bone he's got. 2 kills in that
kill
bottom
too.
lane.
And Tao's still in the jungle, just farming up, trying to get his boots of travels. Meanwhile, the Tiny's already got Blink and has made 2 kills on the map already. And we've seen what's happened in South American DPC with his mid guys. The first one making the move, the first one getting the kills for his team. Just seems to get such a big advantage.
Yeah, you start dictating the tempo of the game. You're the one making that first move, forcing your opponents to react. Playing to your tempo rather than their own.
So let me paint you a picture, okay? Tiny, he's got this tree grab, right? Which shoves the lane because the AoEs down the creeps. Now, if Batrider can keep the wave on his high ground and just sticky the Tiny and stay down the river, how does Tiny go into last hit creeps?
Yeah, you can't.
Like, if the Batrider doesn't shove the lane out, it's so hard. Like, Tiny should be losing a lot of creeps that way, and I don't know. We didn't take a close enough look as to what happened in that lane, but this is just getting way out of hand. G-Pride essentially have lost 3 lanes.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the net worth, top 3 all red. Lifestealer right up at the top. And like you said, he's just been left alone. There's no real pressure on him. TP Kara up there, and if Greedy sticks around under this tower, could be lights out for him. They've also got an Invis Shadow Shaman, yeah, lurking in towards mid lane. Level 2 Shackles, 3 points in Ether Shock, so no Hex. CK's just gonna go and farm jungle. They bring the Batrider into mid. Can they kill this Tiny? Because there's two heroes off to his right-hand side. Underlord and Dark Willow both here. Ice Blast flying in. Terrorize going to try and counteract their initiation, but they've got the lasso. Terrorize and the Stampede. Drag the Tiny in, but the Dark Grip. Drakiel gets killed off. Doesn't help his teammates. They're 3 for 1. Ego Boys
so
bring
close.
the numbers. Oh.
That was like, I want to say a millisecond away from the Underlord's rift actually triggering. If you could have got out there with the Tiny, that would have been some MVP moves. But now they lose their both position 2 and 3, and G-Pride stabilizing a bit better here. And you can see the potential of G-Pride's fight too now, right? You got the lasso into the Stampede, and that's scary.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Suddenly you're completely isolated and dragged into the CK, you know, the Phantasm, the Centaur as well. And they have got a couple of items up on G-Pride. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. The CK, he's getting to his Midas, but it's the Centaur and Bat who've got Vanguard, Boots of Travel, and they are the real action makers in this early portion of the game.
I mean, especially after these last kills, I think G-Pride, they're looking pretty good.
They make the jump on Centaur. He's a tanky boy, but there is no help. He is 1 versus 4. I spend Bedlam in the end for him as well.
Cat is just gonna hide a bit here, and while they push top tower with this team. Yeah, like you said, the CK Midas almost up, and that's gonna be great for him to come back with. Ward behind the tower.
Vision. Sees
Cat's
Cat.
gonna know.
He knows there's a ward there now.
Exactly. Information has been gathered.
It has. I
Time
mean,
to
the Dire
de-ward.
glyph up. They tried to defend that top tier 1, but Serpent Wards plus CK is going to bring it down, and they're also glyphing the mid wave so they can keep pressuring that mid tower. Interesting that CK and Shadow Shaman run away from top, not finishing off the objective, even though they saw 3-4 heroes sitting mid.
The problem is Drakiel is just way too tanky. And the CK Phantasm is on cooldown, plus he wants to finish the Midas, so they don't want to like hard commit and maybe get rooted. Tiny TP's in, then he gets tomboed, and thing just looks pretty bad real quick. This Tiny Blink is just having so much impact on this map right now. G-Pride, they can't really play the game that they want to play because of that Tiny.
Yeah, kind of stuck in this waiting game now. And CK Midas being delivered, but also Batrider needs his BKB to feel strong enough to go and start the fight as he would want to. But it seems like they are going to smoke and try and relieve some of that pressure from the top lane. Dismar's caught up in the pits of Malice. Phantom's Embrace and the Ink Swell onto Drakiel, going to catch out the Shadow Shaman, but then comes the backstab. Lasso onto Kara, Grimstroke and the Firefly. Good little Soulbind and Terrorize though, turn back around onto that Radiant team, so just the 1 for 1. Disengage with a good Terrorize.
They got the lasso on the Grim, and then he's like running towards the Underlord, and Greedy's like, stop! I can't kill him from here! And then he had to just click the Stampede to keep up with the Batrider. And then the Grimstroke gets that Soulbind off, and that kind of just stopped the play. They do get the 1 Grim kill, and they defend the tower.
That was lame.
They stop the bleeding for now, but I think EGOBOYS alone is ready. He just wants to keep fighting.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And he's got the perfect vehicle in that
That's
Tiny if they want to
aggressive.
get the Infest bombs going, but it's the Avalanche toss on the Cat. Alone's Tiny a little bit stuck though as his team's on the low ground. Forced away by the Serpent Wards, the Shackles onto that Underlord, trying to burst him down, but the Dark Rift is going to be successful. Take him and the Dark Willow out of there, while the Tiny and the Grimstroke. A little Chaos Bolt and a Stomp, it's coming. Greedy couldn't get it off because of that Avalanche toss. They will find the Grimstroke as he tried to retreat, but Tiny's come back in again. 21 charges means there is another Tombo. Yeah, tosses up the CK and RJ's burst down. Batrider trying to escape with a Firefly over to the high ground. There's the nice little Curse Crown. And Tau finished off by Tano. It's these little scrappy fights that EGOBOYS, just so adept at completing kills.
Alone went in like a maniac, and the Chaos Knight only has level 1 Chaos Bolt, so that was like a 1-second stun on him. Apparition's Ice Blast didn't really land properly, and they couldn't really keep him in place even though he blinked in, which is a huge problem for G-Pride right now. They're gonna need to save this lasso. Yeah, passive Midas dying. They're gonna need to save the lasso for this Tiny every single time. They gotta just kill this guy 2-3 times. I know there's Life Stealer and you might have worry about him, but for the time being, the Tiny is just a big issue.
He's the one killing and controlling everyone.
Radiant's
Exactly.
top tower
And
is under
Greedy is 50 gold away from Blink Dagger on the Centaur. A good bit of vision there. He's going to spot out the tiny bottom lane as they... G-Pride know there's a number of heroes top with a catapult wave killing that tier 1 tower. So another nice period of breathing room here as all the creep camps will respawn. CK can get his farm back on. When your Chaos Knight is, what, 3,000 net worth behind your opposing position 1 in the lifestealer, though? Real rough spot. Kara's going to walk into him, though. Greedy showing off that Blink Dagger and, of course, revealing that Observer Ward on the high ground that spots the Grimstroke coming in. While in the mid lane, Rod of Atos from Drakeel into the Pit of Malice. Tau all caught up in the roots, and that Cursed Crown Bedlam combos him down.
Yeah, he's gonna need to get that BKB, so that won't be happening. Like you said, this CK just so far behind, and this is all stems back to that level 1 where he dies without the TP. Aberration also getting caught here. G-Pride are just getting run over right now. Yep. G-Pride can't fight back in any way. They're just gonna keep splitting until this Batrider has a BKB, or they can find someone
tower is under
with
attack.
Greedy and Apparition who's like alone. Because if they jump into, not alone the player, but who are isolated on their own.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, Dismal gets the top tower. Didn't have to spend Serpent Wards either. It was already set up pretty nicely. And now Batrider TPs with the boots of travel. Clear out a couple of those waves there. Try and force a fight in that top portion of the map. Yeah, everyone's moving. Migrating. Head
Dire's
northwards.
top tower is under attack.
But the Dire squad have smoked. And they've got to know there are some stragglers around.
Is under
Cat.
attack.
All alone. Oh, he's gonna try and maneuver himself out of here. He's got double fluffy hat, tranquil boots, but the avalanche toss combo bursts him down to about 10% HP. Ice Blast is his dying move. Oh no, don't lose your Ether Lens recipe. Shadow Shaman's courier slips out.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And it really is G-Pride just trying to find any edge they can, any position to farm or get a catch onto someone. Like, they're setting up top lane. Nobody's farming, nobody's creating pressure. They're just kind of waiting for EGOBOYS to make a misstep.
Oh, they saw Centaur with the courier as well. Yeah, he's just gonna get out of TV bottom. Like, they're just going for the split push on G-Pride. This Batrider BKB, that's gonna be their timing. And he's still struggling to be able to farm that freely because the Tiny is just off the map. If he doesn't show on a lane somewhere...
Bye-bye, CK.
Oh, Argus. He's super dead here.
I think so. He doesn't have Phantasm. He's just going to get chased down.
Hold on.
Stampede? Is that enough to get him out of there?
Oh, nice
All
spell.
right.
He's out. The roots don't land onto the CK there. Like, this is why this hero is so nice. Not only is he a great laner, he buys good items, he's got a stun, he has a global save.
Global save on that Centaur. And that's dragged all of EGOBOYS down bottom. Smoke from the AA Centaur, another little interesting maneuver. Gonna go grab a bounty rune. Maybe if there was someone there, this pairing could blow them up. We've seen how much damage an Ancient Apparition Ice Blast can do with a good setup stomp double edge. And Serpent Wards for the top tier 2. Dismar's putting the pressure there as well, so it's starting to look like the map opens a little bit for G-Pride, and that 4k net worth lead that have started to amass,
Under attack.
plateauing a little bit and not increasing.
Yeah, down to 3k gold. They gotta get this Lifestealer to push the lanes a little bit more and hitting the tier 2 towers.
Radiant's bottom
But
tower
Tao
is
also
under
has been
attack.
off the map, so maybe he's also not feeling too confident. Okay, alright. So they just rifted out. That's space now for Tao. He's gonna have his BKB ready. We might actually see a fight soon from G-Pride themselves.
Preemptive Dark Rift. Tiny clears the wave. Uber him down bottom.
Radiant's bottom
Dire Vision
tower
sees
is
Cat.
under attack.
Blink, Tombo.
Radiant structures
Cat's dead.
fortified.
Gets off one spell before he falls. That's pretty much been his job so far. 175 is just really face off against these initiations. Buy more space for the rest of your core heroes. So they will have a BKB on CK reasonably soon. It isn't synchronized with the Batriders, which is what ideally they would have wanted.
And that means they're gonna wait even longer on G-Pride. Like, even with
It
this
is, right?
BKB on the bat, I would like to see them do something.
Radiant's bottom
But
tower has
EGOBOYS are just not splitting up on this map.
fallen.
And I think that's the
Dire's
right
middle
decision
tower
from
is under
EGOBOYS.
attack.
these heroes on G-Pride, they don't really take objectives that quickly. Plus, they don't want to be hitting the tier 2s because they're so afraid of alone right now. But making some smoke plays from EGOBOYS could be a good idea as well. Just connect up to this lifestealer, play a top middle, then you can get the Roshan. Looks like Alone is pinging the triangle area, but Rises can't come there.
ATP top. I mean, CK was just in the triangle, so Alone misses out on that opening. Phantasm from Rajas to try and shove out the mid wave.
Oh.
If that
They
Ice
tried
Blast
to
landed.
Ice Blast. Yeah, they tried to Ice Blast top onto the lifestealer. They were trying to make a play with the Shaman and the Bat, but Ice Blast don't land.
Tau. Fire flying away, but Rise is still
Just gonna
giving
BKB
chase.
TP.
It's not as easy anymore to make these plays up in that top
BK
lane.
oh,
Anywhere
no
on the
BKB.
map as Tau didn't BKB. He's been terrorized, munched upon by
Greedy,
Rise's
greedy.
lifestealer. Very greedy indeed.
Greedy, greedy boy. A core who didn't BKB at the right time died, and potentially costing a lot for his team. Got your Dota bingo open, Gary?
Yeah, we've seen that one before. In that bottom lane, greedy. He's got Vanguard Hood. Little cloak there. He's incredibly tanky, and they stampede back onto Tano. CK finally getting involved in a battle. They get a pick off. Dismar is also
Gotta get out
shredded
fast.
back towards the mid lane. They've got to retreat, fall away from here. Greedy TPs, the CK. He's gonna have
8,002.
to TP home as well. Or if they pit him, nope, no catch.
He's good. He's already top now. Trying to split push. So they got the BKB on the CK and the Bat now. If there was ever a time to smoke up, it's gonna be right now. You don't have your Stampede. That's up in 1 minute, but that's fine. You can smoke up, you can make a play with a Bat Rider Lasso, and then in the middle of the fight, your Stampede will be back up to utilize it. But you don't want to miss his timing on G-Pride, I think.
And what's the angle of attack? Is it still focus the Tiny?
You gotta kill the Grim. We gotta kill this Grim first. He is way too annoying. Just the Soulbind locking down the Bat Rider. And the Tiny, you know, he's a bit tankier now. You can try to use your lasso on him if you see him first and he doesn't get any spells off, but probably the Grim is the best target.
The CK. Using the little path through the garden that the Bat Rider created for him. Cut the wave. Tiny is here though. Oh, Tiny's TPing. They're fighting middle. BKB from Bat Rider and the Soulbind has already come out. Tiny with the Infest. Lifesteal a bomb. Jump out onto the Centaur. Greedy pops his wand. He's still healthy and they drag this Tiny back. Lasso into the Serpent Walls. The Blink Stomp onto the two of them. Inkspell's coming. Alone. He's about to drop. And they've all caught up Rises. Lifestealer, can he infest into someone? No, he can't. He's on cooldown. Oh, they don't have the chase to catch him and finish off that Lifestealer, though. His armlet toggling. And you're right. Oh, he's stuck inside the Serpent Wards.
Yeah, I mean, they need to change. Okay, he got out. Whew. He would have been stuck there for a long time because he just TP'd into, like, yeah, that was almost a clutch play onto Lifestealer as well. Very nice lasso there onto the Tiny. When he came out on Rises, he didn't want to commit to the Centaur because he didn't have Rage anymore. It was still on cooldown, so it was a very awkward re-engage from the Tiny. They're gonna smoke up though. This is a 4 versus 5, but they're playing under dire vision.
That's a pipe Centaur too. Ancient Apparition's going to walk up there, just a Vortex and a Cold Feet. Ice Blast chucked onto them as well, but they will bring down Greedy. Rise is unstoppable, and Roshan opens up to them if they can find the secondary target of the Ancient Apparition, which they do with ease. The rest of the G-Pride side, yeah, just out on the side lanes, try and split push as best you can, but contesting Roshan doesn't feel like a possibility right now.
Nah, Centaur's dead for 30. The triangle is also warded up by EGOBOYS. No vision for G-Pride there. Bat Rider has enough gold for a Blink Dagger. The thing is, I don't think G-Pride are too worried about losing their high ground because EGOBOYS lineup don't really take high ground that quickly. Plus, they got the Blink Lasso, and EGOBOYS don't really have a save for that. You can drag someone to the tier 4s, get a Hex on them with the Shadow Shaman. Tano,
Yeah,
he's got use.
and even though no, it's oh yeah, Tano gonna find that Dismal Shadow Shaman. Quick little Bedlam. Dark Below so good at solo killing, but I was looking at bottom here. Argus, the CK, he was trying to escape from that alone move. straight into the jungle and finds him thanks to that dire observer ward that spotted the Chaos Knight farming.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna go high ground here because they know the Batrider is split pushing. Batrider is gonna go back to base now though to try and defend. He's got the blink up. Who do we lasso here into the tower?
Tiny again?
You still need 20 seconds on the CK. He's your damage. I mean, Ice Blast is your damage as well. Oh, Underlord could be interesting. Because then he can't Dark Rift out.
True. And his pipe's on cooldown for 20 seconds.
Greedy
Could be a good
is
opening for them.
Okay, they just get the range racks and get out. Because the CK and the Shaman are going to be alive. Plus the Centaur has...
Fake back. The fake back. Pit of Malice. Never mind. They infested the Tiny. It looked like they wanted to go again. They're still sticking around here. Wait to see if anybody pushes down the ramp. Gets a little bit too ballsy with their maneuver. Yeah, they've got this Aghanim Shard now on the Shadow Shaman, so Serpent Wards are coming out everywhere. And G-Pride with their own smoke. Doesn't look like they'll find anyone bottom. Everybody from EGOBOYS has swung up towards top for that tier 2.
They're going bottom because they feel like this is the only place where someone might be split pushing. Just get one quick kill. Make the map a little bit more imbalanced.
So tip those scales.
Top. Yep. And EGOBOYS, they don't really care. They just want to take the last tier 2 tower. It's going to be a little bit of time though before that tower creep wave gets there. Rises.
Yeah,
He's almost got AC too.
He's so
very
far.
big there. Yeah.
16k lifesteal, really hitting his stride this game. And he does have that Sanjin Yasha, you know, up against the lasso and the chain stuns of G-Pride, which is super handy. So they get a tier 1 bot as G-Pride. Again, just opening up a little area of the map for themselves. But they've got to continually come back and defend their base. Aegis still in hand for 2 minutes. And lifesteal waddles straight up to the tier 3. Pipe ready for Drakeel. Nearly has a Lotus Orb as well. So even more saving mechanisms coming out from the EGOBOYS.
They got like 2 more minutes left on this Aegis, right? I mean, you can just chill. I think EGOBOYS respect the fact that there is a lasso into a Stampede that can drag them all the way back to the tier 4s. So they're just kind of playing it safe right now. They should look for a kill outside the base. If I'm in EGOBOYS' shoes, I don't really want to go high ground. Like, this guy's gonna get lassoed. Okay, there's a Lotus. That helps. 3 more seconds. They might jump.
Finish off the barracks.
Too late.
Pops rage and runs away.
I think that would have been a perfect time. They should have just lassoed him, brought him all the way to the behind the tier 4s, killed him one time with the Aegis, and made EGOBOYS come in to fight.
Oh, Tiny. CK tossing lasso onto that alone Tiny, dragging back towards the tier 4s. The CK trying to disengage. He's BKB'd up, but in comes the Lifestealer. Smacks him down and no buyback on him either. Just dead for 45 seconds. They didn't even finish off the Tiny, did they?
Nope, he was still BKB'd when he got lassoed. No follow-up disables. And now they're just going to lose a free racks on EGOBOYS.
Jump in again from the Dark Willow, who has a blink of her own. Avalanche toss, Ancient Apparition, the Fluffy Hats working out wonderfully. Tano's now going to get shackled up as Greedy. He's stuck inside the Pit of Malice with Rises turning him into lunch. Buyback available. Forced to use it, but your buildings are still falling, and you haven't really done any damage to this side. With a blink stomp like that, though, they will burst through the Aegis. First life down. Focusing onto Alone Tiny. Ice Blast still there, so the shatter from him allows Dismal to get the kill. Drakeel, can we Dark Rift away from here? It's a TP time for Rises with his rage up, and Drakeel, he's going to try and get out of there. Ulti successful back into Fountain.
So tanky. Essence Ring, I mean, they're going to be okay with just losing a Tiny and a Dark Willow there. Centaur did have to buy back to make that happen, so 1 more kill on the Centaur. With Spill Doom for G-Pride. Spell? This is Spill.
Spill.
My brain just like got confuzzled for a second there, alright?
It's understandable, you know, in this kind of game. I mean, G-Pride are doing a pretty good job holding on, but it is just that, you know, kind of trickling of sand. Eventually going to turn into a pretty big avalanche here. So it feels like a 12k lead that EGOBOYS have when Tanya respawns, TP's mid. They go for one more move. And it is time to focus on buybacks. Shadow Shaman, the only one on the Radiant that has one. Centaur spent his, no money on Bat or the CK for it. So this fight, it is do or die. And if they get spotted outside their base, the Dar Observer, what it sees them perfectly. So Tiny, yeah, straight onto the Shadow Shaman. Obliterate Dismar. He is the one with buyback, as we just mentioned. But it's a pretty quick move down to the bottom tier 3. Solar Crest on your Lifestealer, who has an Assault Cuirass and a Desolator, making short work of that tower. They lasso him, though. Lotus Orb comes out just afterwards. The Ice Blast, well placed.
There it is.
They're going to try and finish off Rises. He's incredibly low and close
So
to
low.
shattering. He's popped. He dies, and they can now turn onto this Drakeel Underlord. The chase is on. Can they get a bit more? Tau and Greedy moving forward. Blink is ready with a stomp with Akara. And they've also stopped the blink of Tiny. Good toss back onto Tau means Alone will be able to blink away and escape, but Kara has been left here. Stranded as the Grimstroke. Dodge away from the Inkswell. Any more stuns to stop the TP? The damage isn't enough.
Ooh.
Makes his way
Wow,
out. They
surprising.
defend their final lane.
Yeah, I mean, they got the Lifestealer kill, and now that's going to give them some space to just get these lanes out. CK, he's still long ways away before he can actually deal with the Lifestealer on his own. But that is something, right? Now you can see the Lifestealer can bleed. You just got to connect your spells all together. Lasso, Stampede. The Lotus was just way too late.
Oh, the Yule's onto Bat. He's fine. Blink Stomp. Dodged out by the blink of the Willow.
Yep.
G-Pride, they can taste blood in the water. They feel the weakness of EGOBOYS, even if they are a lane and a half of racks down.
Lifestealer is going to be up soon, though. They missed the opportunity to jump now, and they're just going to have to back off with him being so close to being alive.
How was it? 30
Chaos
seconds
Knight.
until fast spawn on Roche.
He's got an AC now, though, too, Gary. So he's become a bit stronger since the last fight bottom. This next Roshan is going to be everything. If G-Pride can somehow manage to at least kill the Aegis hero right away, like just remove the Aegis, then they can delay the game even further because of that Lasso Stampede combo that they got going right now.
Drag it out.
Dire's bottom tower is under
That
attack.
Lifestealer definitely has started to reach his limit in terms of slots. You can buy a BKB and swap his wand. Think about Moon Shard, Aghanim's Shard, and stuff like that, but otherwise, he's a little bit stuck in terms of item choices.
Dire's
Whereas you can see the
bottom
CK,
tower is
going for
under
Skard. You can think about the Heart of Tarask next. He's still got a long path ahead of him. Blink Stomp, Greedy. Makes the jump. Hexing up as well with a lasso. Good use.
Oh, he did BKB, I'm back.
Tau is still going to try and burst through this. Lifestealer, though, as the
Infested.
Soulblind comes out onto the bat, and that Centaur, he just infests straight into the Underlord. The toss in. Trying to blow up onto Greedy. That's a tanky Drakeel, though, with the Lotus Orb going, just bouncing all the stuns and disables back onto the Radiant.
Oh, Tao, you done goof, boy. Oh my goodness,
If only
that
he'd
was
BKB'd.
it. That was it. He gets that kill onto the Lifestealer. EGOBOYS would have to instantly Dark Rift or just die with all of their heroes. Wait, is that the second time he didn't BKB and it was game losing? Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh, he didn't do it top lane. Didn't do it here in this
That's
jump.
2 stamps on the South American DPC bingo.
Getting close to that 3 strikes and he's out.
Radiant are scanning.
And he pushes that bottom wave. Try and carve a bit of this map open for themselves, but you look at top and you look at middle lane. EGOBOYS are ready to go again. Keep the pressure on, scout out Roshan. He's up in 30 seconds and Dark Willow
Radiant's top
could just
barracks
stick
are
around in
under
there and see it. Oh, she's heading into Aghanim Scepter for Tano's Dark Willow next. Yule's Blink Ags.
attack. Radiant's top barracks
Check
is
out
falling. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Wait, what did Tao just get? Oh no, he got the Octarine core. I thought he was going for Aghanims himself as well. That'd be pretty cool against EGOBOYS heroes. Greedy.
Yeah, Fanner's Embrace. Plus that double root. Soulbind now onto him and that CK. Gets out his Phantasm and blows up that Dark Willow. They've got the jump in onto Dismar, but they don't finish off the Shadow Shaman. The buyback from Willow now. Tano wanting to return to the
Don't
fight.
want
They
alone.
infest the Lifestealer away into the Grimstroke. Drakeel gets the pit, but Tiny, he's stuck between 3 of them. G-Pride. These fights are getting real scrappy and sloppy. Kara's going to try and turn with a Terrorize onto Greedy. He's a pretty tanky old boy, this Centaur, though, as Underlord wants to get onto Cat. Lifestealer munches through RGS. That's the big pick-off. CK down. Centaur, he will get the dieback on the Willow, as Tiny's also coming back in here as well. This is a buyback battle. CK without one, AA does, but Drakeel and Rise is starting to run towards the Radiant base.
Oh, wow. And that's a dieback from the Dark Willow as well. I mean, the CK did die, but he's done his job. He was able to be there, soak the damage, dish out some damage as well. The target that EGOBOYS need to kill is Dismar. This Shadow Shaman is getting way too many disables off. This Shackles with the Serpent Words are doing plenty of damage as well. And he's causing such pain for EGOBOYS. And I don't think they realize how important he is of a kill.
It does allow them to get that second Roshan, yeah. So Aegis, Shard on Lifestealer, Cheese on the Tiny. And now things really much more difficult for G-Pride. If the fights were close, no longer.
They also got the open wounds. I do believe at this stage in the game, they do have enough damage to be able to kill the Lifestealer 2 times. I hope they won't hesitate and they will just lasso the Lifestealer, bring him into the tier 4s and make EGOBOYS out of position, kill the 2 supports in the backline while removing the Aegis of the Lifestealer and then taking a fight from there. G-Pride need to play with all of their buybacks now. Like, they're going to need to use 4 or 5 buybacks in this next engagement to hold this game down.
I mean, what do we have? Bat, 350 gold away. Centaur, his is coming off cooldown and he's holding the money for it. CK, 500.
Drakeel? Are they going to see him?
Oh, no.
Oh, he's...
Maybe they did.
He's not sure who's there.
Afraid.
Because that could have been an interesting kill. Just get the Underlord right away, and then Lifestealer now feels a bit awkward for the next minute or so while the Underlord is reviving.
How much of an effect does it have on a team? You take 2 lanes of barracks, and now you're kind of thinking, right, we've got 1 lane to go. Does that get in your mind a little bit, thinking that G-Pride have 1 option and they're going to defend it with their lives? Are you a bit scared as EGOBOYS going for that 1 final objective?
Really depends on your experience as a team, I believe. There's a lot of teams who are like, oh, we got 2 Raxes. The last Rax is going to be really easy. Oh,
straight Stampede Lasso, catching out the Underlord. Stomp, burst, Terrorize coming. Tiny can't do the job to turn it around, though. And they've spent Soulbind.
Perfect. They also see the ward too from Dire, so that's going to get dewarded. So that's 70 seconds where EGOBOYS cannot go high ground anymore. I mean, technically it would be a good time to go high ground because the lasso's on cooldown. But then you're also fighting 4 versus 5 without your Lotus Orb hero. So let's see what EGOBOYS do. Do they got the balls to make plays right now?
They're trying it with the Infest Bomb onto the CK. Phantasm. Does he have BKB? He's been force-staffed away, but there he goes. Buyback is ready for him. But a good pick-off onto the Chaos Knight. The worry now is, though, EGOBOYS, if they push this too far and CK buys back, it is going to be a 4 versus 5, and they're going up to high ground. What's Lasso like? 20 seconds away. Rises, rages, focuses the barracks. Glyph is there for G-Pride. And a bit of a reset. Soft backup. Blink toss. The combo onto Centaur. Puts him in front of the Lifestealer. Greedy. Down to about half HP, and that's a lot of damage with the Nullifier slowing him. They finish him off. Buyback for him ready as well, but they're holding on to the CK's one.
Got the lasso.
Lane down as the lasso. Catches Lifestealer. Ice Blast flies over them. In towards Kara as well. Rises. Doesn't have Infest yet. Doesn't have the mana for it, so he's going to pop there. First life down. Tiny alone. The jump. The Bedlam. Tano goes deep. Just feeds away to save Rises, I guess. Gets the Lifestealer out of there for now. Flame Break. No Blink Stomp. They don't get any catch with a stun from Centaur.
Yeah, a little bit of a freebie there from Tano. But only the range racks left now, Gary, and Rises. He doesn't have the Aegis anymore. They did what they can to try and defend that, but I will say EGOBOYS have played this very well. Just smoking up, finding that one hero on G-Pride that's going to get overconfident because the Underlord's dead, making a fight 4 versus 4, and just slowly taking that Rax while the Batrider Lasso's still on cooldown. Tao. Did he see him? Yeah, Alone sees him. He sees him.
He does. Does he BKB?
Got a BKB. He's gotta. He's gotta BKB and TP out. Okay, it's not gonna BKB. Just blinks. Just one hero hunting him.
That's fair enough, I guess. Tiny gets the Sandy Nasher delivered.
I'm excited. Batrider, Aghanims. I want to see them double lassos.
Well, they're smoking out their base. Lotus Orb and Pit holds back a CK illusion. And also pops the smoke on Batrider. Tau just jumps straight in, pops his BKB, the Flame Break, Blink Stomp, Shackles in onto Tiny, the lone Tiny. He's focused up and dragged to the high ground. Great Ice Blast, gonna connect into him and Rises as this BKB Underlord chases the CK back, so no casualties just yet. An Ancient Apparition, he's got the Phantom's Embrace on him. Underlord still hounding the CK back. Tau inside the pit, caught up a little bit. Shackles there on the Underlord as well. Lotus all being spammed out. And Lifestealer, he can't catch up to Tau because he's Firefly down to the low ground. Greedy, he's the one in trouble though, without buyback on the Centaur. Stunned up under the waiting arms of Rises. Now a 5 versus 4 and Alone trying to dive into tier 4s for the CK. He does have buyback, but we've got ourselves a 5v4 and Mega Creeps are coming as that final barracks, a ranged one drops. Creep waves start crashing onto this Radiant base.
Yep, that was really bad engagement there from G-Pride. I mean, they went for the lasso onto the Tiny, but then the CK used Reality Rift on the Tiny, which I think actually broke the lasso, or the lasso ran out because of the statuses. No matter,
GG.
Nonetheless, it was not a good play to go on the Tiny with your lasso there. And G-Pride kind of just throw away their last effort by running out of the base. They could have waited for the Ags, right? He had like 300 gold left for it, and it could have been,
I think so,
a pretty big play possibly for G-Pride. But nonetheless, I think EGOBOYS, they played very well, especially that bottom lane, crushing that Chaos Knight, like getting that kill on him after he used his TP. Then he couldn't TP back to bottom lane. He had to walk back there, and then he died once again.